Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Thanks so much for checking back in. Today I'm going to be making a poisonous swamp vibe. You'll see, stick with me, it's a cool one. So as you know, on this channel I like to make things on a budget and kind of share my tips and tricks with you guys along the way. So I'm going to be kind of doing a little breakdown of how much everything cost, where I got things from. Starting off with these little foam bricks. This is XPS foam. It's quite difficult to get hold of in the UK, weirdly enough, and I could only buy it in either massive quantities or really, really small quantities for a lot of money. So what I did is I went on Etsy and I bought this massive bag. I think it's 1,500 bricks, and they're ready cut bricks for wargaming. You can buy them already weathered, or you can buy them just plain, and I bought them plain because I like to weather my stuff myself. So these bricks, they come in, you know, brick shape, oblong shape, and I just cut them into variations of oblong and square. And then basically when I had enough, as you can see on the right there, I had loads. I just laid down some Mod Podge. You can get Mod Podge at Hobbycraft. Like, I use the Hobbycraft own brand version, and it's like £2. And it works exactly the same. So yeah, I think that bag of bricks was like, I don't know, £8 to £10 or something. It wasn't very expensive at all, and I've used them on other projects that you can go and check out on my channel if you like. They work really well. You can use them for so many things. So basically what I'm doing is putting down some Mod Podge and one by one putting the bricks down. Now, because I freehand cut these bricks, they're not all the same size, which I really, really like because it gives it that kind of uneven stone effect. I kind of wanted to go for something similar to, is it called Giant's Causeway? It's this place in the UK where there's like different levels of rock, and it looks really man-made, but it's not. I'll try and insert a picture. I think it's called Giant's Causeway. I'm not actually too sure. But I was kind of, you know, emulating that a little bit. And as I got into the middle of the wooden plank, oh yeah, the wooden plank, I bought a big batch of these. They're like tiny, thin MDF planks. I bought them off Amazon for, I think, £25 for 20 of them or something like that. I do find buying these things in bulk obviously does make it a lot cheaper, but of course with that comes, you know, you've got to store it somewhere. Are you going to actually use it all, or is it going to go to waste, you know, etc, etc. But yeah, just gluing all of the bits and bobs on, making sure that the middle goes in the most. As you can see, it's, you know, the deepest, so to speak, right at the bottom, because I want to make the illusion of this poison swamp being very deep at the bottom. Next, I'm just taking a mixture of black paint and Mod Podge and sealing that all in place. This is just a trick I learned here on YouTube. It just seals the foam and makes sure that it doesn't go anywhere, basically. And black also gives a really good base to work on. Obviously, black paint you can get at any craft shop, really, really cheap. And Mod Podge, like I say, I get at Hobbycraft. So I bought these tiny little skulls on Etsy. Again, I think I got 100 of them for £5, something like that, like really, really cheap. And I tried painting them one by one, but then swiftly realised that it was actually a lot easier to just put a whole glob of paint in a pot and swoosh it around. I am using Citadel paints here and Citadel washes because I really like them, but obviously, again, you don't have to spend that money because they are quite expensive. They can be, you know, £4 a pot, and they're only tiny little pots. But for like £1, you can get something similar at a craft shop. But yeah, that's where I choose to splash out a little bit more is my paints. So next I'm moving on to dry brushing. This is a great little technique. You've probably all heard of it before, where you put some paint on your brush and then you brush off as much of it as possible on a bit of tissue paper and then swipe it quickly over your piece, and it just highlights all of those upper points and makes the shadows look more obvious. I think it gives a really good effect. I love it. I did it with grey and white here and just built it up over time. And then here I'm going in with this neon yellowy green wash in all the places where I want to put the poison water. I did put a bit too much on and I'm very impatient, so I was dabbing it off with a tissue. Next, I just glued down one by one all of the little skulls that I painted. Well, not all of them. I did do quite a fair few because I wanted it to look, you know, really perilous. You can use this in wargaming or Dungeons and Dragons and stuff to really set the scene, you know, for a dangerous scene. And it was at this point that I wonder if any of you are thinking this actually, it's at this point that I realised this really reminds me of that scene in Harry Potter when, in the Half-Blood Prince, when Harry and Dumbledore go into the cave to retrieve Slytherin's locket. And it's in that, like, bird bath is the only way I can describe it. And Harry's got to force feed Dumbledore the poison. He's, like, begging for his life. And then all of these dead people, like, rush out of the water up onto the little island where they are. Yeah, I was just thinking to myself as I was doing this bit that it really reminds me of that, and I'd subconsciously done that. So there you go. You can take me out of Harry Potter, but you can't take the Harry Potter out of me, hey? So next thing is I mixed some UV resin with some green pigment, and I just brushed all of that onto the bottom layer of the piece. This again is just a sealant essentially, because when I pour the resin later, the only resin I've got at the moment is a slow cure resin, and so if any bubbles do come up, then they could ruin the piece, because I wanted it to be a really smooth lake swamp type thing, quite magical. So by doing this, it means that all of those air sockets that are in the skulls, they get covered up first and foremost. Just curing it with a UV torch there. Obviously, resin is quite expensive. The UV resin I use, I find on Amazon, and it's about £25 for, you know, a big bottle. I've had that bottle for over a year and I'm still going through it. Obviously, it all adds up, doesn't it? The pigments, the cups, the stirring sticks. So really, if you're looking to like start using resin in your projects, you're going to probably have to be set back £100, which isn't particularly affordable. I know I like to be affordable on this channel, but resin is something I love working with, and I definitely want to make some more resin based videos on this channel. So if there is anything you'd like to see me make, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, unfortunately it is a very expensive material, but here we go. After that, I just popped the bubbles and waited for the resin to dry. As you can see, we've got that really, really smooth top on the swamp, and hey, I think it looks really cool. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.